जीत चुकी है। पाकिस्तान ने कहा भाई ये क्या बात हुई, तो कहते कर लो तुम एशिया कप कर लो, हमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं। तो वो कहते ठीक है हम वर्ल्ड कप में नहीं भेजेंगे, तो कहते ठीक है मत भेजो, हमें फर्क नहीं पड़ता। तो इवेंचुअली पाकिस्तान हैड टू बी लाइक अच्छा ठीक है हम किसी न्यूट्रल वेन्यू में करते हैं। एंड न्यूट्रल वेन्यू इंडिया दे सिलेक्टेड लाइक श्रीलंका, जहां पे ऑलरेडी सबने बोला था कि भाई बारिश होने वाली है, कोई फायदा नहीं है।
हाँ।
उसमें भी भाई पाकिस्तान बोर्ड ने कहा भाई दम्बुला में कर लो, दम्बुला बेसिकली इज ऑन द अदर साइड, हाँ वहां पे नहीं है बारिश, ठीक है। इंडिया ने कहा नहीं फक यू, हमें तो कोलंबो में करना है, तुम देख लो। तो
और बारिश हो गई,
पहला मैच हुआ उसमें इंडिया हार रही थी, उसमें बारिश हो गई तो बच गए। आज बहुत अच्छा खेल रही थी इंडिया, फाइनली लग रहा था भाई रिदम में है, और बारिश हो गई।
और भाई इन लोग ने बेशर्मी की सारी हदें पार। हाँ
पहला मैच थोड़ी होता है, पहला डे होगा ना।
नहीं, ODI is one day international.
Sorry.
But that's the point. बेशर्मी की सारे हदें पार करते हुए they have kept a reserve day for the India-Pakistan matches, not for the other matches. It's just for that. तो अभी जो आज का जो मैच अभी कॉल ऑफ हुआ है, जिसके वजह से हम लोग ये पॉडकास्ट कर रहे हैं आज, वरना नहीं करने वाले थे। It is gonna happen. It's gonna continue tomorrow. तो सोच इतना ज्यादा
मुझे genuinely लगता है कि एकदम बपौती है इंडिया की इसमें, मतलब अब भी अगर हार गए तो भाई शर्म है तुम्हें, मतलब तुम्हें ऑलरेडी सेमीज में पहुंचा दिया जाएगा।
Exactly.
बीसीसीआई ऐसे पता है क्या भाई, तुझे पता कौन से ग्रुप में रखा जाता है इंडिया को? इंडिया का मैच होता है पहला पाकिस्तान के साथ, क्योंकि इंडिया पाकिस्तान, अफगानिस्तान, स्कॉटलैंड,
नेपाल
जीत के आए जाए,
तो कोई चांस नहीं छोड़ते, तुम्हें सेमीज में तो पहुंचा ही देंगे भाई।
करेक्ट। आई थिंक क्रिकेट आल्सो विल नॉट सर्वाइव। हाँ हिमांशु का खाना आ गया तो वो लेने आ रहा है, बट yeah, I think the whole point of cricket right now also is like who gives a fuck really, like it's just us, and Bangladesh sometimes does some weird histrionics on the field, but that's it. वो लोग कुछ तो बहुत ही cringe, वो लोग नागिन डांस कर देते हैं ना, और I don't know who is the PR head of the Bangladesh cricket team,
I don't think,
and isn't telling them ki oh dude the funniest shit I've ever seen in like global sport happened the other day. भाई Afghanistan versus Sri Lanka का मैच था to qualify for the Super Fours, ठीक है? तो it was actually a great match. It was very, I watched
I saw the last ball basically.
Yeah, but what happened basically is that they had to win under 37 overs. Okay, if they won by 37.1 overs, then their net run rate would go over Sri Lanka's, and Sri Lanka would be eliminated, and Afghanistan, Bangladesh would go into Super 4. But what happened is nobody so 37.1 overs ho gaye. They were very close to winning. Rashid Khan was playing damn well, very close to winning, except वो नहीं हो पाया 37.1 तक. तो Rashid Khan looks all lost and everything, and he's all like depressed and all that, and एक ही wicket बाकी है. Dude, the commentator is saying that like, does the Afghanistan team know that they can still win this? That if they had hit a 6 by the end of the 38th over, they would have still qualified technically.
Oh shit!
But they did not know this. So the other guy came, वो dot खेले आ रहे, last ball पे out हो गया. So they could have actually just taken a couple of singles, or and they could have hit like one boundary on the last ball and still won. But they did not know the analytics. This was like crazy.
नहीं हो रहा है तालिबान रूल में पढ़ाई लिखाई।
हाँ देखो, exactly. This is why Western liberal democracy supremacy, so that you don't have embarrassing overrate issues like that.
अभी ऐसा भी हुआ ना, ऑस्ट्रेलिया और अफगानिस्तान का पंगा हुआ, तुझे पता है ना? ऑस्ट्रेलिया से
पाकिस्तान का
नहीं अफगानिस्तान बेसिकली आई थिंक आइदर Australia was supposed to play Afghanistan somewhere, I think at a neutral venue or something, and they pulled out because like Afghanistan ये तालिबान को हम कैसे ये वो तालिबान ने कुछ तो किया, कुछ तो रूल बना दिया कि औरतों को, मतलब अब उनके तो यही रूल बने।
I think they disbanded the women's cricket team.
हाँ तो ऑस्ट्रेलिया ने इन प्रोटेस्ट कहा कि हम अफगानिस्तान से मैच नहीं करेंगे। तो राशिद खान ने कहा ठीक है, तो आई विल नॉट give the discomfort of Big Bash audience my face, मतलब मैं नहीं खेलूंगा Big Bash.
Anyway, like let's be honest over here. Big Bash, Rashid Khan is much bigger than Big Bash at this point.
That's what I'm saying.
He's a massive fucking. personally, he's like in terms of non-Indian players, he's probably like my top 5 current
Yeah.
players playing.
But for Afghanis,
Yeah.
people, Big Bash is very different. It means very different. It's anyway.
With that said, 18 people here on the Disscontent podcast. Welcome back, guys. Everyone who joined us to talk about Jawan. We watched Shah Rukh Khan's new film Jawan this week, which for some is a film, for others a political revolution, for others is the answer to the India alliance. What can strengthen the India alliance?
And to Pratik Borade, it is a leftist piece of
क्या
communist.
बोला उस? It
भाई,
is leftist.
तो देखा नहीं इसको?
मैं नहीं देखा उसका वीडियो.
भाई, it is genuinely, if you watch one Pratik Borade video, it is that.
Oh.
And I think Himanshu hasn't watched any, right? So I
No.
think it should be a good start.
Dude, I loved his Adi Purush video. That
I
was my
passed.
favorite. Yeah.
आदिपुरुष में तो रो दिया था ना almost.
हाँ.
इसमें भी, so okay, he has kind of a point. Okay, I'll tell you what, but let us do that later after the podcast ends, because I don't want to spend precious time with Pratik Borade.
Yeah, let's not dwell on.
बोल
Pratik
दे. I think सुनना ही चाहता हूँ मैं, अब बताए दे.
अबे नहीं, उसने basically कहा कि this is leftist terrorism, and what are you showing? What are you trying to show here? कि NSG कमांडो पे गोलियां चल रही हैं, and these are our heroes. क्या ये हमारे heroes हैं? And all of that. But yeah.
Okay.
Okay, can I just start this discussion, because I feel like जैसे अभी हम लोग Disscontent WhatsApp group पर बात कर रहे थे, which you can become a member of by paying. And by the way, all our paying members, I will make this thing from now on. We will shout out to every paying member of this channel, and at the end of every episode, guys. So we will do that. But we were discussing on the group that, and a lot of people wanted to know our opinions also, कि हम लोग कैसी लगी, but I wanted to hold off because I have a very surprising opinion on this, which is that I really enjoyed this movie. Okay, like I genuinely really enjoyed this film. Now I don't know whether this is because Pathan was like completely ass, and like it was a complete shit film in my opinion, which we had shared earlier as well. It was a nothing film for me, Pathan. Maybe it is just because I hate it that much, that's why I'm liking this, but I genuinely had a fun time
Were
at
you
the
drunk?
theater watching this.
Were you drunk?
I wasn't drunk, dude. I was a little sick. So maybe that is
Maybe that played. No, I'm joking. I also agree with you. I also enjoyed it a lot. Yeah. But
I'll tell you why. Just
bol. Say it.
So briefly, I'll just tell you why I liked it. Number one, because beyond all there is obviously it is a dumb action film. So there is a lot of stupidity, the plot, and there's a lot of cliches here and there. But I think what I enjoyed personally was just the fact that there is a clear vision you can see here.
Yes.
There is a directorial voice, you can tell very clearly. The action scenes don't look fake.
Yeah.
They look as real as you can get in that scenario. They don't look like shit. They look like they've been shot on real roads, unlike that Pathan highway where it's just like a random CGI highway. But everything looks good. There is proper characterization. I think I will remember these characters for quite a while. There is a point it's trying to make. There are legitimate plot twists that are called for. They're not just anything out of anything,
Yeah.
I genuinely enjoyed it. So I think briefly that is my point. Then opinions around the film, inside what happens, the politics of it, us par to aayenge. But just on a technical level, I think unlike Pathan, which looked like a thumbs up ad, the colors look good. There is a very clear understanding of framing. I like those basic technical stuff. It is a very solid film, I think.
I agree, and I want to add to that कि even Pathan mein every set piece and every action move also seemed very inspired from everything else that
yeah.
यहाँ पे there was at least to me, maybe I've not seen the references, but it seemed to me to be original vision of the action set pieces. I'm not saying storyline and all of that, because I know there's a lot of parallels that they're making with the Money Heist and all of that. I've not seen that show though. But
I hated that show.
Yeah. But a lot of people were saying that, and by the way, Red Chillies owns the IP for like the adaptation rights for
Money Heist.
They want to make it with SRK.
But I think they've kind of made it only, as far as I could tell, because this is a few things were similar from the storyline I could tell. But the action was surprisingly fun. There were at no point I was like कि ये क्या चुतिया पे. Even though it was outrageous, it was like
Right.
outrageously set up. But फिर तो outrageous वो भी है ना Mad Max. मतलब my point
Exactly.
is,
And in fact, I was about to say, हमने ये point लाए थे during Pathan also, that I don't think any of us have a problem with unrealistic action scenes. We have a problem with badly directed, badly shot, fake ass looking, or copied. इसमें भी actually it's not that it's not copied or whatever. These are generic action scenes. They're not exactly copied from one place or the other. They're generic, but they are generic done right is also difficult.
done well. They are done well.
It's done well. Yeah.
I think this is like the first film in the last 5 films that he's done where SRK's potential is understood. Like SRK is one of the only ones that can actually give SRK, Akshay, they can still give you goosebumps, right? They can still manage to give you a bit of a high. Salman to बहुत time पहले से I don't know. I don't think Salman gives anybody a
पठान में ही हाई दिया था उसने, बस और कुछ नहीं.
I feel like this movie will be his Wanted. What Wanted was for Salman, when they completely
I felt the same.
thing.
I felt the
This
same.
is gonna be like that for him.
Like for a long time, na Shah Rukh is like struggling with like his image of this thing, na the romantic hero, and by completely removing it, it works the best. I really don't want to, like, I think age के साथ you have to move on and all ना. तो Salman to did it like 10 years ago or something. This one I think was required. Otherwise,
Salman is still stuck in that action, fuck all action mode.
Yeah, na.
Wanted shit.
Like, I think Amir did a decent job with Dangal.
Yeah.
Bapu, direct.
Yeah, I think in general these three, or fuck general, I just coming back to Jawan for a second. I just thought, it was nice to watch a Bollywood film which was just, again, going back to that it just had everything in place, everything, none of it looked, and most things didn't look out of place. It wasn't trying hard to make somebody look cool that doesn't look cool. Like, remember we watched Kisi Ka Bhai Kisi Ki Jaan, Bharat, in the theater, or you watch, like, there's a very hard this thing to make somebody look. Shah Rukh Khan looks cool. Like, I mean, I don't think anyone can deny that part of it. And I think in an action film, that is about 70% of your battle.
Yeah.
So I think that way I really
I also think the film is written decently. I think there's a bit of a, well, of course there is no plot, but the way they put in Shah Rukh's life into the movie, and they kind of blend the character with his real persona, that worked for me the most. I think that's the only connect, Otherwise, Shah Rukh is the same as Pathan, right? The movies are very similar, but Pathan seems to be like a little more non-Shah Rukh and and somehow this character somehow turns out to be like the character that we wanted to see. And I can tell, they're deriving a lot from Shah Rukh's real life. It's important for us to connect to the character that way. And they did a good job with that.
I just to add to that, I felt that Shah Rukh, I mean, again, I'm trying to avoid spoilers as much as I can. But one part of his personality in the film is like that typical lover boy kind of a thing that we've seen 100,000 times. And that to me was unconvincing as fuck. Okay. I couldn't keep a straight face.
Yeah.
So that the whole thing with Nayanthara, as you guys know, is playing the love interest in the film. That whole bit was, it was cringe for me.
I think the director knew. So they kind of raced through it.
Like they करके निकाल दिया उसको. It did not even feel like a love angle full on. It just
मुझे basically पता है कैसा लगा, like Tom Cruise in that film, कौन सी थी? Top Gun, the second one,
the new Top Gun.
फटाफट romance हटाओ, खत्म करो, निकालो इसको.
And plane उड़ाओ यार, plane, लोग आए plane देखने के लिए, ठीक है?
Exactly.
They've come to watch Tom Cruise have sex with a jet fighter.
Not with a girl.
not with that. So I think that way, in a sense, I mean, for Shah Rukh Khan for me, this is, everything that people are saying about Pathan, this is what the popular this thing was. The Pathan also got glowing reviews from a lot of critics who for sure would not be giving that review if there was not that actor in that film. So I think this is that movie that deserved that, and I think and he's earned a fuck ton of money for that. So
But I have a different opinion on that. I feel like if this was not Shah Rukh Khan, I would never watch this kind of a film. Like, I would never,
That's the other thing. Yeah,
But-
yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
I can compare it to Vikram because a lot of people watched Vikram for Kamal Hassan, and maybe I'm not that kind of a fan because I've not seen much of his work, not because of anything else, but because we have sort of seen Shah Rukh being Shah Rukh so many times that we just want to see him. We are excited by the fact that he's doing all this shit.
Hmm.
तो अगर शाहरुख नहीं होता तो भाई मैं नहीं देखता है फिल्म, मैं जाता ही नहीं देखने.
Bro, theater full tha. First,
Yeah.
I went first day. Theater full tha, and I was sitting next to a guy who was not like clapping or cheering because everybody else was, right. So I thought, acha, maybe the person I'm with is not interested. मुझे ऐसा लगा कि I didn't come with him. I don't know him, like a stranger. I was trying to gauge if everybody's enjoying or if there are people who are not. And after the interval, I was still on the thing कि अच्छा, he might not be liking it. And then he suddenly started hooting and clapping. And I realized कि, you know, maybe everybody's in, like everybody's invested into the character. And even I was like, मैं भी काफी हद तक invested था, and I really liked the way the film went, like the ending and everything. I think it ended well. It had its own, like every character got something. Even the side characters had a decent arc, you know. Every character, all the girls, right? The specific.
Yeah. And I think, you know, now I can understand why like a South Indian audience goes gaga about their stars.
Correct.
मुझे outside से तो कुछ लगता नहीं था, मेरे को लगता था हाँ ठीक है रजनीकांत है. But their people have been making these kind of films for their stars forever.
Correct.
So I think Shah Rukh Khan went to this director and said, भाई मेरे को एक ऐसी फिल्म बना के दे दे. Basically. So now I can understand कि अच्छा, okay, so they have their Shah Rukh Khan, and if he's doing this kind of shit, you are going crazy, you know?
I want to ask you, what is it about, I mean, for all intents and purposes, Pathan and this film are vaguely similar. Okay, like I'm not getting into the plot details or whatever, but largely they're both action spy-ish film, you know, like with big set pieces and a larger than life actor and all of that. Why is that so? Why is it that Bollywood Hindi film directors are seemingly not as equipped to direct things like this, or at least efficiently direct something like this in a fresh voice? What could be the possible reason for it? You know, because I for the life of me, I can't figure it out, because it should flow over both ways, right?
I think the short answer to मेरे को पता है. Direction and writing is the short answer of it, right?
But why?
But I think the long answer is, see, if you go back to Zero or Fan, because I feel like good directors worked with Shah Rukh in those films. Anand L. Rai was in Zero, right?
Yeah, and Manish.
And they trashed it. Yeah, did you see Zero? Have you guys seen that?
I've seen Zero. It's not good.
It's not good.
It's not a good film.
It basically tarnished the image of Shah Rukh Khan more. It did a disservice and it did like a negative thing. And they tried to do something cool, right? It's not like they didn't try, but they just didn't get Shah Rukh Khan. Like, I don't think they after becoming an insider, you don't understand what it means for us, like as an audience, to watch Shah Rukh. Like, we want to see him in a new way. We want some reinvention, but we also want something from the old. There has to be a connect. Like and I think you'll probably get to figure it out better if you watch like a Hollywood actor, like a long time ago. Just watch his career over and check out all the films, like Al Pacino. You can tell which were the main 5 or 6 films which really hit home, and then exactly where it goes, like, off track.
Yeah.
You can kind of judge, and I felt like Shah Rukh Khan kind of off track wala moment aa chuka tha, with at least 3 films which were completely, like, it made no sense to the audience. Like Fan and Zero were there, right? I think Dear Zindagi was off track for me.
Dear Zindagi was not
even
exactly a Shah Rukh film. I don't think even he will call it a Shah Rukh film.
Fan was, in my opinion, a decent film. But again, I get what you're saying. It doesn't get Shah Rukh Khan ka whatever popularity as much as it should have.
Yeah. I think Salman was still going strong with his movies. Like Wanted ke baad he did a string of Dabangg and those ones. there was a connection with like every character. And see, Salman has like two characters overall, right? It's Prem and it's Radhe, right? There's just two of them.
Yeah.
So people want to see him in either Prem or Radhe. I think Shah Rukh had only like Rahul.
Rahul.
Right.
And Rahul and Dawn. Maybe like, I think
But-
Pathan is the Dawn.
No,
and
but
then-
I'll tell you what, Shah Rukh has had a lot of reinventions throughout his career. This is a man, let's not forget, who started his career with In Which Annie Gives It Those Ones. So started off with like full on theater, NSD background. He went to NSD or not? No, Delhi University, sorry.
But NSD,
So,
nahi
but
gaya.
whatever, he was in those circles. Like he was with Irfan Khan, he was with, I think this one also. What's his name? Piyush Mishra. I think they were all.
No.
Wasn't he with these
Whatever.
guys?
I am
Anyway,
not sure.
point is, he came from that Delhi theater scene.
Yes.
Then from TV, he's gone from like to a villainous. He did like he was known for villain roles for the longest time. Then the big shift happened for about 10 years from 95 to 2005. He was like a lover boy kind of a thing. In the middle, he tried to transition into a thinking man's hero, like a with a Swades or a Chak De India and all those, or even Dear Zindagi, although whatever my opinion on that movie. But like whatever, he tried to do those shifts, and this shift has been the most radical one, yeah, because it is so late in his career. It's like this is how old is this man? He's
57.
57. There's a 57-year-old man. This guy is older than my dad. Okay, so like, how is this? Like, he's still. I think in some senses, the fact that he succeeded in this is very.
But he's always wanted to. This was in that documentary Romantics, right? The first episode, if you guys have watched. This is why I like that film, because it kind of explains Shah Rukh Khan. So he always wanted to be an action star. Okay, he always. So in DDLJ, which is basically a love story. If you guys, I have not seen DDLJ, but in that film, there's a contextualization. Basically, there's a fight scene.
Yeah.
In a film like DDLJ, where everything is mellow and everything is like...
He gets beaten up by Parmeet Sethi, in that.
Yeah, he gets beaten up by those goons. So that was not in the script. They had some extra time left, and Shah Rukh Khan basically begged Yash Chopra कि भाई मुझे एक fight scene दो ना मुझे he's like मुझे मारो मेरे को चलेगा, like I want to do an action scene here. And so they had extra time to shoot it, and apparently Yash Chopra only said कि ठीक है, you take your time, जो भी करना shoot करो. वो second unit वगैरह में shoot कर लिया. And in that bit you can genuinely see that he likes to act getting hit and all, which you then see in Pathan, by the way, where he really gets hit. And I think a lot of commenters, all of these critics said it also. He gets hit really well.
Do you think it's his I'm a lover, not a fighter ego still there? Like I'm the guy who will get treated by the girl. I'm not like the Salman who will run away.
हाँ ऐसा है. I think वो थोड़ा सा vulnerability पे खेलता है.
हाँ.
It might also be his king, because he says there's a line in Dawn 2 when Priyanka Chopra is a cop and he's literally the Dawn. And she cuffs him and he's like, ooh, kinky.
बहुत cringe. मेरे को याद है वो डायलॉग. मुझे लगा ही था वो बहुत cringe. मेरे को actually Dawn 2 इतनी खराब फिल्म लगी थी ना. मेरा इतना दिमाग. I think Dawn 2 came out in 2011 or something like that. Yeah, I think we were in 11th or 12th grade, something like that. So around that time, I remember that was my shift off from Bollywood cinema. Honestly, like when Dawn 2 I watched in the theater, I was like, this, I'm done. I'm maybe I've come back home with Jawan a little bit, because dude, I genuinely there is a certain thing about this film, which is that I will actually remember some of these characters.
Yes.
I will remember like the father's character.
Good.
I will. Yeah. It was. There is a sense of just pure cinema in that. There is a sense of that you're trying to tell me a story that is fiction, and you.
There's a lore created here. There's a lore.
Exactly. There is a lore to it. There is some level of.
And he's the Zinda Banda actually.
Yeah.
He's the Zinda Banda, not.
Again, the way I'm sucking this film off, it might feel like this is like the greatest thing, but it's not.
I think our requirement was very low. Like
our bar is very low.
बहुत ही low था.
And जब उतना भी meet नहीं होता ना, तो हम लोग disappoint होते ही है. That's why we diss on the content, right?
Like I'll tell you what, I had genuine like laugh out loud, like legit earnest laughing moments in this movie,
भाई
and a couple of jokes. And I like the fact that they haven't overloaded the film with jokes like they tried in Pathan, which was very cringe. And in this one, they did not overload it so much. So when the jokes came, they actually hit for me, and I did find myself laughing. But it was quite funny, especially when, he opens the door and that little girl is sitting over there, and he shuts the door in her face.
Like, am I supposed to?
Is this also my daughter? Like, it was very funny. So,
by the way, Sumit wrote the dialogues, whom I know from Little Things and What the Fox.
Oh wow!
And dude, I was so moved. I genuinely like. मैंने CTVT मारा है dialogue पे वैसा.
Oh wow!
So I texted him, and he's like, "हाँ, thanks, bye, thanks." But he's a big guy now.
Bro, we should invite
Hey,
him.
your other friend. Oh yeah, we should invite him, dude. And especially अब तो हमको पसंद भी आया कुछ. So for a change, we can invite somebody who's filmed.
And I don't know if I've told you guys. I think I've told you guys personally about this. Ki Sumit has been in the industry since he was like 17. He started acting for Ekta Kapoor. He wrote Dil Mil Gaye. ठीक है.
Oh,
yeah.
All the teenage girls of 2008 will relate.
And he said वो मेरठ से है, तो he's like मैं जब भी घर जाता था तो मेरी बहन की सारी दोस्त आ जाती थी कि भैया आगे क्या होगा दिल मिल गए में and all that. And he wrote Family Man, like he wrote dialogues for all of these, like Family Man 1 and 2 for Farzi. Yeah, he's really like dug his teeth in.
He's written for Family Man, and Family Man has great dialogue.
Great dialogue, dude.
It's very funny. Yeah.
That's what. So we
should really try to get him on the podcast. Seriously.
He should. I hope he doesn't say no.
Your other friend Viraj was also in the film for a couple.
Viraj को भी text किया. Even though he had a small role, but he still was visible like properly.
Correct.
He was there.
So, but in general, let's get down to talking about the film specifically and the plot. Let's come to the politics. So for those of y'all who haven't seen the film, and before we won't get into spoilers just yet. Although I just see that there were 40 people watching, and then we started praising this movie, and now there are 33 people watching. So, ये वही है, ये जैसे एक दिन हम लोग भी बोलेंगे, जैसे अर्नब गोस्वामी, जैसे when you hear other people talk, when you hear news people who know Arnab Goswami personally, talk about him, they're all like, he says, or actually I knew somebody who worked in Republic for a little bit, and she used to tell us that it was very clear that this is all an act, and like this is all क्योंकि जनता को वो चाहिए. तो आई थिंक हम लोग भी उसी ट्रैक पे अब जा रहे हैं, जहाँ पर अगर हम लोग गाली नहीं देंगे मूवीज को, बड़ी मूवीज को, तो हमारी जनता will get damn pissed off. So for a change, you liked a big film, and I think this is an odd day. Let's be real. But yeah, I think before we get into spoilers, let's just talk about a little bit of the plot. If you haven't seen the film, it's basically Shah Rukh Khan is a jailer. He's like,
I don't think you should tell the plot.
No, I can attempt it. He's the warden of a woman's jail, and he's one of those reformist wardens, where he wants to bring the Finland model of
United Nations ने उसको
award. United Nations ने award दिया है, जो actually, which I was thinking while watching the movie, कि are they trying to reference a little bit of Arvind Kejriwal over here? कि Arvind Kejriwal, these guys have actually gotten these awards for these reformist ideas and all that,
भाई अभी overreading हो रही है.
I know.
बहुत overreading.
Have you looked at Twitter? Everyone is overreading this film. Everyone is. People have already declared him the leader of opposition. No more Mallikarjun Kharge. It's Shah Rukh Khan.
भाई ऐसे तो सलमान खान का भी मैं उठा के देख लूं, उसने क्या भाई उसका गाना है जो मैंने आज पोस्ट किया स्टोरी में कि हिंदू मुस्लिम भाई, have you heard that?
हिंदू मुस्लिम.
तो ऐसे मैं बोलूं हिंदू मुस्लिम
the worst song in the history of music or religion, in the history of both Hinduism and Islam. It is the worst.
It is the worst
hard to come out.
But still,
please go check out. Please go check out. भरत मैं रील कटवाने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ तो समझ नहीं रहा. Go check out Salman Khan's Hindu Muslim. तो समझ नहीं रहा भाई. रील आजकल काटने.
I think you need to check out the string of music videos that came out during lockdown, which he sang, shot, directed, edited. I think Jacqueline was the director of some of them.
You guys know, but lesser known fact, Shah Rukh also tried to do that. And he made a fucking random bullshit song.
He did make a song.
क्या बात कर रहा है? But I need to see this.
But I thought उसका जो song था was a very casual, मतलब अपने library में बैठा हुआ है और गा रहा है.
तो सलमान क्या मतलब वो भी गाए चला.
सलमान का proper auto, मतलब इसने भी auto tune किया रहेगा. But what I'm saying is, Salman looked way more into it. Shah Rukh Khan had the decency to appear like he doesn't care so much. So,
Good.
which is all that matters, to be very honest. Like, if you don't pretend like you care so much.
Sajid and
then
Wajid
do
were
more.
doing his music for that. He
Sajid
got
Wajid,
Sajid died, no?
yeah. I mean, rest in peace. But
rest in peace.
during that time, Salman was recording in his home, wherever, and he was
Is this
sending
the
it
time
to
when he got-
professional music producers and directors of the industry. He
Yeah.
sent them these tracks, and they had to, do something on it, which is the funniest shit. Because lockdown, mein na, who would have
People
thought?
were crazy.
Is this the time when he also got bit by that snake in his
Yeah.
Lonavala farmhouse?
Yeah, he was at Alibag Lonavala farmhouse. Throughout the lockdown, he created like 3-4 songs.
It was so funny because I remember the sequence of events. Like in my head, I had seen this one photo of Salman Khan on Instagram where he was seated in the middle of a field in like shirtless, and he was covered in mud. Okay. I mean, I don't think I think you wanted to show that I'm doing farming. I don't think farmers are so covered in mud also, but whatever. And the next photo I saw was next news I read related to Salman Khan. They got bit by a snake at his property. So I was like trying to correlate these two events. कि मतलब वो खोद रहा है, फिर सांप ने आके काट दिया. You know, and it was just a very crazy bingo card during the pandemic. Just kept all of us going. I respect Salman Khan for that one. And the snake, let's be real.
बट वो जो हिंदू मुस्लिम वाला गाना है ना, उसका क्रिएटर जो है ना, रुस्लान अहमद या जो भी नाम है उसका, dude, you guys have to check it out. Before this song, he did a song called Miyan Bhai, which is about the Muslims of Hyderabad. Has some like 500 million fucking like views, and people are crazy about it. And it's a good song. It's a catchy song.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's the same tune. Hindu Muslim Bhai Bhai. It's the same tune. Miyan Bhai, basically. That's
Kushagra has said Salman just doesn't care in his films. That's true. Every time I have seen Salman Khan do some music video or sing a song, he looks like he cares way more than he does while he's acting. इसमें तो मतलब ऐसा लग रहा है अभी सो के उठा है, अभी क्या है, हाँ ले ले shot वैसा.
Also, Salman has created a persona where he's not only is he apolitical, he's also like he doesn't care. Like you can't expect from him anything, right?
Bhai is too confusing a man to be political. Because the last time he was asked to be political by Narendra Modi, he stood next to Narendra Modi and said, I will vote for a Congress candidate. He said, I will vote for Baba Siddiqui in Bombay. I should vote for him. You vote for Modi if you want to. Imagine standing next to Modi and saying, I'll vote for Congress. Like, what a guy, dude. What a lad.
But it's not like he's making a statement. It's more like you can't expect something else from him, right?
Yeah.
And that is, everybody knows, like there is no doubt कि he is like Salman से expect मत करो ये सब, तो you can expect, and शाहरुख से expect कर रहे थे लोग, but उसने अभी तक शायद इतना outright नहीं किया था.
शाहरुख ने आज अभी आधे घंटे पहले ट्वीट किया है to Modi congratulating him for a successful G20.
That doesn't event. I don't think it has
but
that kind of
generic a tweet.
भाई थोड़ा नहीं एक सेकंड भाई, वो तुम लोग की उसकी वर्डिंग देखो भाई, मतलब ऐसा उसने प्रेज किया ना जैसे खुद बीजेपी वाले करते हैं. इट इज बिकॉज ऑफ यू नरेंद्र मोदी सर, बिकॉज ऑफ यू वी हैव द वननेस. भाई ऐसे बोल रहा है, मतलब आई एम सेइंग भाई तुझे तारीफ करनी है, देखो यू हैव अ मैंडेटरी थिंग टू से, तो बोल दो ना कांग्रेचुलेशंस नरेंद्र मोदी फॉर दिस. भाई एकदम पर्सनल नोट जैसा होता है वैसे.
मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि दे कॉपी पेस्टेड ना, लाइक ऑल ऑफ.
Yeah, but in the documentary series One Last Dance, there is a very interesting scene where Michael Jordan, in real life he had said this, when the Jordan line had just started, the shoes had started, when he was asked to take a political position to, put his support behind a Democrat candidate against a Republican candidate, he said no, and his answer to that was Republicans wear sneakers too. So I think it is similar. BJP supporters also buy movie tickets. So I think that is one reason. But I think which we had, remember that joke we had cracked during the Pathan episode, which was that this is the lowest point in Indian democracy since the assassination of Gandhi. In liberal democracy of India, कि हम लोग मतलब hope कर रहे हैं कि शाहरुख खान हमारा liberal झंडा लेके या whatever anti conservative politics झंडा लेके वो आगे बढ़ेगा and he will take us forward, which is bullshit. That expectation is bullshit. To put him on that pedestal is also I think the folly of people online and people who are just grasping on straws on social media. But which is I don't expect. I more expect Shah Rukh Khan to tweet something like this, someone in his position. Although there is a scene in this movie where the villain, which is Vijay Sethupathi, Vijay Sethupathi now in everything, I'm convinced. He has the same delivery, even in Family Man, where he's playing a completely Family Man नहीं, उसका दूसरा Family Man में फर्जी में भी उसका same, मतलब different character but same type of tone of voice, everything carries himself the same way. But
still fun, right? Like still fun.
I enjoy. I think it's a bit of that like Nana Patekar, Irfan Khan zone, Nawaz, Manoj Bajpayee, like that zone of actor where they're very singular in their style, but even if they repeat that same style anywhere, you will have fun. Like it's still fun to watch. What I was saying was there is a scene in this movie where the villain at a very cliffhanger moment is like, "Wah, kya scene hai," which is a Modi viral video where which is a direct this thing to Modi. In fact, he's even dressed like his facial disposition of the villain is very much like Modi's. Look, I think they try to play a little bit of both sides, because at the end of the day, their goal is not to bring the BJP down or lift the Congress up. Their goal is to sell tickets and anything that gets people to go to theaters.
तुम लोगों ने देखा भाई इसमें जो एक सीन, अगेन थोड़ा स्पॉइलर अलर्ट दे देता हूं मैं, so mild spoiler alert, but in the scene where the only scene in which you see the PM, the head of state basically, उसको इतना नल्ला दिखाया, उसको दिखाया कि हाँ मान लो, ये तो कह रहा है भाई, ऐसा कभी कभी कोई देखा है, चाहे कांग्रेस बीजेपी कोई भी, उसका पहले रिस्पॉन्स होता है भाई बुलडोजर कहाँ है, ठीक है, रियल लाइफ में वो रिस्पॉन्स होता है, ये तो सही कह रहा है, and he signs it. So I think, of course, it's not pointed at all. Like in my opinion, the political commentary is not pointed. Even though when Shah Rukh Khan is looking into camera and telling you, think for a second about So thoda sa ek, or plus with all the thing about ki baap se bete, whatever. So thoda sa, and when you put Shah Rukh Khan in that image, and I'm sure Shah Rukh Khan is also thinking about this, ki I am saying these lines and I'm exhorting people to think about whom to vote in the current climate. Of course, it all adds up, right? Which is why I think people are reading so much into this.
Yeah. And I think that whole thing of where he is sort of sermonizing the people of the country to think before they vote, and matlab, your vote has a lot of value, don't waste it.
Yeah.
He's also preventing electoral corruption, all of that. So I think in that zone, net, I do think it is it will make maybe 0.1% difference to anybody. But just to bring in terms of popular media, right? I'd rather have something like this than something that is so completely removed from your everyday life. Because, dude, I think, for example, the very gimmicky scene in this movie about the farmer suicides, almost insulting, right?
Sorry, I want to talk about. Sorry. By that shot where a farmer is literally about to hang himself.
Correct. And
there's a message that comes ki, "Arey, bach gaye." It is so laughably.
It was very insulting. And
it was like, what the fuck, bro?
Correct. But what I will say is that for the average audience, for a lot of people, like from say our own families or whatever, or who have very, very weird. For example, I was recently once sitting with my family, and there were people over there who work in like pretty massive multinational corporations. They earn very well for themselves. They were bitching about the farmers are given a lot of loan waivers, and farmers are they're not taxed, and they said that a lot of the rich farmers hide behind the poorer farmers, the really dirt poor farmers. There are lots of rich farmers, which there are, who hide. But that seems like a very minuscule problem as compared to, which is true. The argument that the core argument which even the film is making is true, that there are massive loan waivers for industrialists. Entire banks collapse and they're bailed out. People leave the country, and there are thousands of crores that are just come from the exchequer. So I think just that sole argument for an average person who does not consume news all the time or is not a liberal choda like us. So for them, I think it does make a difference to see these things in a movie, which is appealing to everybody, and which is making so much money. So I'm not saying it'll make any difference to anybody who's listening, but if it helps on the margins, similarly with the voting thing, if they're asking you to not vote with any other thing, think about your vote very carefully. I think and because SRK has a large fan base, I think some people might actually think. I'm not saying it will change anything, but it might lead to people thinking a little more, which is a net positive.
Also, for me, the favorite part, again, politically speaking, not filmmaking wise speaking, but मेरे लिए सबसे impact worthy scene was the whole Kafil Khan. Because that, yeah, about Iram, Justice for Iram.
Kafil Khan. Himanshu, are you familiar with Dr. Kafil Khan's story?
No.
It is literally, that Dr. Elam by the way, now we're going to spoiler. We can from now on, we'll do spoilers. So spoiler alert for Jawan. If you haven't watched the film, you can watch the film and come back. But Himanshu, the whole sequence in this movie with
Sanya
Malhotra, right?
Uska jo hai, that is a real case, happened in Gorakhpur in 2015-16, I think.
No, much later than that, I think.
Okay, around which was, there's this Dr. Kafil Khan, who was I think the head doctor of that, and there was a case of, I think, the same disease where oxygen cylinder.
Oh fuck! I think other test stuff.
I think somebody is hacker. The hacker is behind this. That girl. Bro, that girl, bro, they were
not there in the hospital, and he had. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I back?
Yeah,
am I back? So basically, what happens what happened in real life is that this Dr. Kafil Khan, he went and scrambled for oxygen cylinders and tried to save as many lives as he could, but a lot of babies died in that hospital.
And uska religion was brought into this thing.
It was widely reported that he was like the hero of the day to save how many ever lives he could. But he was then put into jail. He came out. Now I think he lives in Kerala. And he's practicing. He shifted, dude. He's practicing. I think I read an article recently. I'm not sure if I'm getting this right, but I think I'm right, where he's living in Kerala. And he was saying that he feels a lot more secure and better over here in terms of practicing medicine. Correct me if I'm wrong about this, but so I think that also is a very direct.
That is very direct. That was, I think, the most direct, because उसमें बहुत ही clear एक communal flavor था with Yogi Adityanath government, because they had really, targeted Kafil Khan, Dr. Kafil Khan, and यहाँ पे comment करना was, I think, ballsy in my opinion. That was the most direct political statement made.
I'll tell you the other thing, in terms of just generally, since we are in an election year, the whole idea of agenda setting, right? Like just the idea of what is the mood of the country at this point, considering the fact that the last few films that have been super hits in this country have been Kerala Story and Kashmir Files and all of that. So I think this is a lot better. Also, it reminds people of the good old days. Okay, when we grew up. By the way, this exact movie would not be ballsy in 2000s when we
Shivaji the Boss.
Shivaji the Boss.
Shivaji
the Boss. Every Rang De Basanti, you had, even Lage Rao Munna Bhai had those things.
Wednesday.
All of these things were not considered ballsy. They were just considered social message films. And they were very run of the mill. Ki, acha, dhyan se vote karo. Don't get into these traps. The system is cruel against you. Politicians are evil. All that shit was.
भाई रंग दे बसंती में उड़ा दिया था पॉलिटिशियन
मिनिस्टर को. होम
मिनिस्टर को उड़ा दिया था भाई. डिफेंस मिनिस्टर. भाई मतलब आज तो खत्म हो जाएगा यार, कुछ बचेगा नहीं डायरेक्टर.
Correct.
They'll put him out of work.
But I'll tell you why this movie works, like with its statements.
Why?
I think it's too crazy, that's why that's why the statements get like it's a little hidden beneath, right? The statements, because ऊपर से ना शाहरुख खान डांस कर रहा है टकला, you know, so it's like,
correct.
so you kind of so you kind of get into it, and then you know all the crazy shit adds to the
भाई the moment when I gave up कि ये फिल्म कुछ अलग ही है, मैं नहीं सोच सकता इसके बारे में, basically was when he's making that speech at the police, I mean at his this thing,
Police academy, हाँ, the jail.
the old auntie starts singing and I'm like, अरे भाई अभी नाचेंगे.
हाँ, और वो रेड शर्ट में चेंज करके नाचता है.
और आग लग रही भाई, पीछे से आग फ्लेयर अप हो रहा है, जेल में थाली वाली मार रहे हैं, मतलब
till then the movie was still not as crazy.
yes.
Even though it was almost मतलब the craziest film I have seen. उसके बाद तो it just went off the rock.
But
you know, like
I will say this, the you know the start of the film, firstly the beginning में जब वो होता है जो उसके बाप का वो मिलता है, and then he goes to this tribal village, and then for some reason the Chinese government attacks, the Chinese army attacks this village and decides to kill everybody. That whole scene, I got very scared for this movie when I was watching that. I was like, इतना गंदा CGI, इतना गंदा लग रहा है. उसमें भी वो सीन याद है जो आदि पुरुष में हम लोग बात कर रहे थे कि वो जड़ी बूटी को दिखाना है, तो उसको भी इन लोगों ने मतलब CGI कर दिया. You can't fucking put a green liquid just falling from a thing.
वो था इसमें भी.
हाँ, इसमें भी वही था, exactly. So I got scared. But उसके बाद like the metro hijacking scene, all in, of course, with the trappings of an action film, a dumb action film. I thought with that, all that, it was very slick. You know, when he killed that woman who was wearing the burqa, where I was like, हाँ पक्का ये मारा नहीं है इसका, वो तो मतलब it was predictable and all, but I like the shock factor because everyone in the audience got very jittered by all of this, you know, कि what the fuck, which is a good thing. I think if you can communicate that feeling well, I mean, good for you, you know. So, and
did
it's
you
exciting.
feel that the dialogue where Shah Rukh is looking into the camera and talking, could you tell that there is editing? Like some things have been cut out or changed.
I didn't notice.
वो तो उसका de-aging था जो खराब था. But de-aging, I think nobody has figured out de-aging yet. मतलब even in Hollywood, even over here, de-aging doesn't look good.
He's basically playing a 25 or a 28-year-old guy.
Yeah.
नहीं 20, I think थोड़ा older दिखाने की कोशिश की है क्योंकि वो arrange marriage कर रहा है, वो भी ऐसे में जहां पे बच्चियों से भाई वो सीन थोड़ा क्रीपी हो गया था एक पॉइंट की.
ये एक चीज मैंने एक अभी अबू दे मेहरोत्रा का एक कमेंट है, भरत तेरे को कंप्लीट करने तो कंप्लीट कर ले.
कुछ नहीं, मेरा पॉइंट क्रीपी वाला ही था.
हाँ, तो इसमें वो एक बहुत फनी जो मेरे को भी यही माइंड में आया. अबू दे हैज सेड they made women's prison a joke. Sure, most people are forced to follow a life of crime because of poverty and whatnot, but some people are genuinely psychopaths and belong in a jail. That is true. How do you know? भाई इसमें तुमको कैसे पता कि वो तुमने गन्स दे दी सबके हाथ में, सारे प्रिजनर्स के हाथ में गन्स दे दी, ठीक है, तुमको कैसे नहीं पता कि ये साले आधे शायद सच्ची में वो नट केसेस. So I think that was also funny. Again, see, it is a stupid fucking movie. If you have very low patience, which we also usually do, don't watch this movie. But in general, I think if you can have a level of suspension or disbelief, और तुमको Mission Impossible अच्छी लगी, तो ये तो अच्छी लगी. I think ये उस जोन में तो अच्छी लगेगी.
उस जोन में जा सकती है, करेक्ट. तो उसमें चुतियापे हो रहे थे, उसी का थोड़ा सा 10-20% ऊपर है इसमें.
Shreya Sethi, who is also sitting over here only, but is somehow typing over here, and she said some of the dialogues were too cringe though, but forgiven for SRK. I think वो भी है यार. Everyone, and ये एक meme मतलब क्या, people are sharing this a lot on Twitter and Instagram, that this one tweet went viral that SRK's success feels very personal for kids of our generation, you know, or a little older. I think it's also because he's the people look at him as a symbol of like aspiration also in his country a little bit.
I also have ये वाले Caravan वाले article में भी था basically, and I kind of agree with it कि for us he's a very Nehruvian kind of a you know person, कि coming from a background of like हाँ पापा देशभक्त हैं basically.
His father was actually a freedom fighter.
Yeah, and like liberal family, inter-religion basically, no problem kind of a thing. Family guy, that is his image. I'm not saying ऐसा ही है and he's a great guy and all that. I don't know But this
certain
is
subreddits would disagree with you. But
every subreddit.
yeah.
But, but point being that that's what he kind of stands for our generation, because he's always been the gentlemanly kind of a upright figure, you know?
And not just that, also in terms of a career, because he has been through the ringer, na? Because if, for example, if tomorrow somebody wants to be an actor, right, तो वो ये सोचता है कि इस बंदे की जर्नी ऐसी थी, he did everything by the book. He did college, he studied, मतलब not studied, but he participated heavily in acting, in theater, all of that. Went to TV, got little roles, got bigger roles, got smaller roles in movies, and then whatever, that whole thing went on. So I think in that sense it feels very, I don't think anyone really bears ill will towards Shah Rukh Khan, you know,
plus
in the general public.
Plus his goodwill, na? Like his interviews and Instagram to specifically has taken it to the milky. His every sentence, na, they add music, they make it like, you know, you'll cry at every reel, you know, wherever Shah Rukh Khan is giving an interview. And they work also, na? They work, because I completely agree with him. In every reel, you'll be like, "Haan, to sahi bol rahe hai." So Shah Rukh is right only. So we should be all like, I think he's a good idol. Like he works as a good.
उसका एक मुझे बहुत ही, मतलब, just to tell you, like, just to sort of illustrate why I feel people like him and why he's a likable kind of guy. And I'm not even a big fan of him. मतलब, honestly, I have not watched half his movies in the past few years. But I had seen this interview of his where he was talking about when he got married, right? And like what you said, it's an inter-religious marriage. So he said at the wedding dinner, he was talking about his marriage. He was like, at the wedding dinner, a lot of people from the other side, because they were Hindus, were feeling very odd. And he could tell that, they were all normal and happy, but he said that I wasn't feeling very good because it felt a little awkward, you know, because it's Hindus and Muslims.
Yeah.
So he said what he tried to break the ice, and very cool. Which is that उसने बोला कि मैं जैसे ही डिनर खत्म हुआ, मैं खड़ा हो गया और मैंने बोला गौरी को कि गौरी चलो अभी उठ जाओ, नमाज पढ़ना, बुर्का पहनना पड़ेगा. Okay. So then, like, and he immediately laughed after that. So then everyone started laughing, kind of broke the ice. So I feel like he has, people trust him to talk about, he has been doing this, like talking a little bit about uncomfortable kind of things. He has an easier way of doing this in interviews, you know, where he will, for example, address the fact that people talk about his son not being his son, or like, you know, being thing. So, which I think he had done in his TED talk or something.
Yeah, even he had addressed it. He's like, what guys?
That's what.
I think
उसने वही बोला कि भाई ये क्या बातें हो रही है, मैं बोल रहे हैं कि मेरा बेटा
हाँ, exactly. So at least he has the ability to talk about these things a little bit, which is why I think people like him also.
Do you guys remember his AIB interview? Yes. I think that was he was really candid in that. Na? He mentioned a lot of things, and I think क्या है ना, he knows क्या बोलना है किसको. तो AIB वाले लोगों के साथ ना, you can't be like you know, very formal also, na, because it's a podcast which is very crazy back in the day. So he did go a little, he crossed the line in that, if you remember. Thoda sa, some jokes, a little dark, a little. He knew, and you can tell, you can judge his mind. He knows कि कितना cross करना है.
Which is impressive, क्योंकि वो है तो uncle ही ना. At the end of the day, तो वो है uncle ही, but he somehow got what AIB wanted from him.
Yeah. अभी एक रील देखी मैंने, where is from his younger days. और किसी ने पूछा आपको क्या लगता है बच्चों को सेक्स एजुकेशन देनी चाहिए, एंड यू नो व्हाट ही सेज, ही इज लाइक आप किसी भी स्कूल के बच्चे से पूछिए, मुझसे पूछिए, मैं भी जब स्कूल गया था तो सिर्फ सेक्स एजुकेशन ही तो मिलता है और तो कुछ नहीं मिलता है. दैट्स व्हाट ही सेड. भाई ही सेड इट सो स्ट्रेट फेस, सिर्फ सेक्स एजुकेशन ही पता चलता बच्चों को. और
उसका एक तो आई वाज ऑन, बाय द टुडे शाश्वत इजंट हियर, बट शाश्वत वाज देयर लास्ट टाइम. उसका पॉडकास्ट है नंबर 1 बुलशिट पॉडकास्ट, नॉब पॉडकास्ट. On that, him and Chirag were talking about, Chirag is another comic, they were talking about Shah Rukh only. Basically, every time anyone talks about Shah Rukh, na, they only talk about like, oh, he's so charming, but then he is also. And the other, I think the reason people also talk about this is because kabhi suna hai Salman Khan ko baat karte hue, kabhi suna hai, even Amir Khan, I would say, is very constructed. He feels very artificial. And if
you don't know na Amir, you don't know as a person, you can't tell anything.
Exactly.
उसके इंटरव्यू में वो बस ऐसे बात करे जैसे लिख के पढ़ के आया, मतलब.
Exactly. And too correct, too like safe, all of that.
Bechara, he got run out with the last movie, now, like Lal Singh Chadda.
Lal Singh Chadda.
I feel like I felt bad also, but I don't even know what to think. Is it like I don't know. He just like, it feels like he walked off the field at this point. He's also talking about retirement and stuff.
True. But I
And
don't
nobody
think these
cares.
people. I don't know. I would actually much prefer to see. I think he's a very good actor personally. So I think if that means he'll go back to doing maybe smaller films, take a bit of a high road in his career, then why not?
But I really I remember loving that film, Lal. I mean I was.
Yeah. We all spoke about it.
But we've spoken about this, and I really like that film. I wonder why it didn't work.
Bro, it didn't work because of PK. मेरे हिसाब से तो PK affected his career badly.
Dude, I'm telling you, people really are against PK even now. I don't know what, it is religion only, but they really have taken it very personally.
Yeah.
Also, by
somehow
the
director's film the director did not get affected. The writer and the director.
Because nobody knows, dude. Nobody fucking knows the director.
Bro, the actor's career went down the hill.
हाँ भाई, तो क्या director works behind the scenes, an actor is the sales person. The director is the one who's handling the office from the back end.
By the way, next movie is his only. Sorry, continue.
What I was saying was कि in Knob podcast, another interview, very cool moment I wanted to go back to of Shah Rukh Khan, where in some interview somebody was, ये चिराग बोल रहा था in Knob podcast, which is that in some interview, in press conference हो रही है कोई movie की release की, and a journalist जो fuck all सवाल पूछते हैं journalist, one of them asks शाहरुख खान की आपका अगर नाम, अगर आपको क्या लगता है आपकी सक्सेस जो है आपको हिंदू होने के, अगर आप मुस्लिम होने की वजह से मिली है, समझ लीजिए कि अगर आप हिंदू होते और आपका नाम होता सर्वपल्ली कृष्णन, and dude, his answer to that was Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, SRK. Like it is, and in the podcast also they were talking about, like, imagine if you are this guy and these fuckers are asking you these downright offensive questions, but you're able to maintain your fucking shit and still like give a witty answer. That is actually insane.
And that answer is like layered as fuck.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, उसने बोला था.
Also because the real guy's name was Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan. That's the other thing.
नहीं, उसने R का भी बोला था. ऐसा नहीं था कि the question asker had missed the R of the R. उसने राम कृष्णा बोला है, जो भी the actual thing is Radha Krishna is what he corrected. मतलब उसने religion पे भी उसको comment कर दिया कि भाई तुम्हें नहीं, मेरे को मालूम है, तुम चुप रहो.
Very funny. Dude, so if you're done with the dick riding SRK session so far, what is it that we disliked about this film? Anything that you guys one thing, can I just starting this off, पता है बीच में जो background जो score था, it sounded, I might be wrong, but it sounded like mass hero. Okay. Massima. And it was just the moment I could tell what the words were, मैं बोला यार अब ना बस हो गया, मतलब मुझे पसंद आ रही है मूवी, don't cross the fucking line. Like this was just, it got disgusting. I was like, don't put mass hero in the background of your mass hero film. Come on. Like that's like you know, नवाजुद्दीन सिद्दीकी कोई इंडी फिल्म में पीछे मतलब इंडी भाई ये अच्छा लगेगा क्या भाई किसी को? What the fuck is this shit? So that annoyed the shit out of me. That actually pulled me very back for some reason.
I got thrown off really badly when Shah Rukh Khan, who's a 57-year-old, is playing a 20-something, looks at a girl who's like 25 or something with a wig on, okay?
Yeah.
And he says Kaveri Amma. Ek to call back to the movie, right? Which I hate. I don't want to get like, you know, mix this, okay? They did it in that movie also, right?
ब्रह्मास्त्र also.
मुझे ऐसा लगा क्यों कर रहे हो, क्यों एक उस मूवी को पकड़ के अभी तक क्यों घसीट रहे हो, क्या प्रॉब्लम है?
I don't know what it is, मतलब, and that's his, I think उसको भी लगता है कि ये मेरी करियर की मेरी चंद अच्छी फिल्मों में से है, तो let's
जो कि ट्रूथ है, you know, स्वदेश तो है.
Yeah. I remember even right-wing accounts sharing when Adipurush was failing, and it was the right-wing accounts were sharing that the Ram Leela scene from, which is a genuinely goosebump,
very good scene,
kind of scene where he's just sort of wearing a shirt and trousers and he's just delivering that in the least Shah Rukh Khan way. Actually, I don't know if we can, Bharat, narrate that story that somebody who we were once drinking with, who's an actor also, telling us about Shah Rukh, about his acting, that once he was.
I forget this story. Maybe
we can say it without naming anybody, but we were once drinking with an actor and who has worked with Shah Rukh also, and he was telling us that during one film that he was doing with him, when they were rehearsing, some very emotional scene, he did it in a very immaculate way. Yes. And this actor is very good, and he's a very good theater actor and everything. So he was telling us that he did it like he kind of blew everyone away. Like you don't expect that of Shah Rukh, to do a very emotive, very deep kind of scene very well. I guess. You do, but you don't expect like a whatever Nawaz or Irfan type performance. But apparently it was like that. It was as good as that. So, but when the cameras came on and he did it in a completely Bollywood mainstream Shah Rukh kind of way. And this actor then asked him like, man, what happened? Like, I thought you did it so well. And he said, no, that was for you guys. This is for the public, which is actually crazy to think that if you are so good that you actually know what note you have to hit for the people and what note your actor friends will like, which is pretty impressive.
That's true. And I felt that in this film also. He was Shah Rukhing the most Shah Rukh ever, basically. He was, I think, like on 11 on 10 Shah Rukh, basically. Even in that, मतलब मुझे तो इनफैक्ट वही चीज बुरी लगी फिल्म के बारे में कि sometimes the emotion was forced. Like when it cuts to every person का shot and ऐसा एक tear falling, that was after a point getting to me कि भाई ठीक है. Also the farmer वाला segment was so badly done.
Very badly done, yeah.
उसमें नत्थे ही था ना actor, I think. Natha, and I'm like, यार ये parody चल रही है क्या ये, मतलब what the fuck is happening? And at that point I kind of was reminded of Milap Milan Zaveri.
Yeah.
And the parallels are uncanny because उसमें भी वो बाप बेटे का रोल रहता है हमेशा, played by this character. Oh, by the way, he's directed I think one film in which he's done that. Both the brothers are played by Vijay and their father is also played by Vijay. Oh. So yeah, अपना Atlee has only made this film. And he's and he's famous for the flashbacks. Like हर किसी का एक वो होता है ना, जैसे लोकेश कनगराज का है कि he's creating a universe, right? And इसका ये है कि he's known for his flashbacks. He flashback में पूरी कहानी बता देता है और पूरा आपको emotional कर देता है, which is his claim basically. And that
there was a talking about things we did not like though.
Yeah.
So in general, again, as you guys, most of it you guys covered. The age seemed off. The mother is Kaveri Amma for no reason. A lot of those things. For example, maybe it's just me. I do not like. I'm alone in this. I agree. I'm a terrible person. I agree. I do not like Deepika Padukone's acting. I can never get behind it.
She was good.
No, I don't like. I don't like. I just can never. I just always feel like she's just being Deepika Padukone everywhere, and it's not. Anyway, but apart from that, in general, a lot of the scenes are very typical gimmicks of कि corruption का वो, मतलब politicians will be a certain way, or they're all very caricaturist, less they don't.
I think जो intentional है ना, I think मुझे थोड़ा बहुत ठीक लगता है कि अगर intentionally तुमने ज़्यादा crazy कर दिया, only because what you're trying to say ना, you want it to be a little hidden. So you make it a little
intentionally. तो ये भी, जैसे for example, one thing that pissed me off was that really tucha humor that films do. One thing in this I annoyed that the midget, the little person who's just there. Why was he there? What was the need of any of that? Even the red pill, blue pill nonsense made me cringe.
No, it was fun, dude. I thought
it was
like, this is so ridiculous that it was fun kind of. It was like a Bond villain kind of a thing.
Guys, there is a very fascinating question by Rinku Paji, who was saying, what type of story would you write for SRK, Bharat, Aditya, Himanshu? Wow, dude, Rinku is fucking segregating us. He's like, what type of story would you write for SRK, Bharat and Aditya? And Himanshu, what type of movie would you like to direct for it?
Oh,
Rinku, what the fuck, dude? All of us can do all of these things, firstly. Okay, don't fucking segregate us like this. But the question is good. What type of movie would each of us would like to, if tomorrow there is a day where SRK के साथ हमको काम करने का मौका मिल रहा है, तो what type of film would you
Indie,
like to make?
full indie,
I would
indie
also say,
drama, indie intense drama. Fuck man, and I would love to fucking do something like a aged romance with him, like him and no, not Kajol, Taboo, like him and Taboo in their fucking 60s romancing. That kind of a film I'd love to do.
I think I would like to do something that he's done actually before, but I would love to direct indie type only, but in a low budget indie type setup, a crazy psychopath, psycho killer kind of film where he's the lead. Because I still feel a guy who's as charming as him and who looks good also, when they play killers, it just hits at a different level. I feel like something like that he would fit really well into. Also because he's done that a lot before.
What about you?
I was about to say this only, but then I think also because you said it, has he played a detective in any movie, like a proper hard-boiled detective in almost a Zodiac kind of a...
Badshah.
No.
Dude, that was a funny fucking movie.
I think Badshah ka na sequel bhi banna chahiye. But if they fucking give it to Ranveer Singh,
they'll ruin
scrap
the
it.
memory only.
Yeah. I don't know.
Memory is not, I'm sure if we go back, abhi cringy lagega, but like, uska last ka sequence was copied from Rush Hour. But well copied.
No, but which one was Himanshu Singh? Like a hard-boiled detective. That's an interesting one, actually.
Like a Zodiac or a Seven, something where, and like based in Mumbai, will be interesting, right? I don't think I've seen it.
Like what this one has done with Talash, basically. What Amir has done with Talash.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Tried to, at least.
That'll be fun.
So, yeah.
Looking for a serial killer who's very crazy in Mumbai. I think that'll be really interesting.
SR, and he can play both the detective and the serial killer.
I think he's
already
done.
One is the father and one is the son.
Bas. And then the serial killer is also a fan, and and detective is also a super star. Okay?
Also, he's a scientist who goes to the village. Or
they also look the same. That's also the thing.
And there's a button. You guys don't get the reference. Okay.
नहीं क्या है button क्या है?
ब्रह्मास्त्र भाई
अरे भाई छी.
हाँ ना वो button लेके anyway.
By the way, this is another thing. I was actually thinking a lot of Brahmastra while watching this movie because I was just going back to like all the Bollywood films I have disliked passionately over the past year or so, and I just that's another reason why I think I liked it again. That it just felt like a release. Ki, okay, this is what Bollywood used to be. I'm glad we're back to kind of good programming.
And Rocky Rani adds to it. And I think coming together is a bit of a plus. I mean, no.
For me it is. I agree. For me, it's like the same way. Basically, progressive, but massy filmmaking.
Massy.
So it has all the trappings of your old school Bollywood, but it has a progressive, beating heart.
Yeah, I think we got exhausted by like the Ayushmann Khurrana and Rajkumar Rao films. I think they wore us out for like 5 to 6 straight years of them trying to make it like something which is not Bollywood, right? It's Bollywood, it's funny, it's like middle class, small town, which is good, of course. I think that's those stories are, but then kuch zyada ho gaya.
And Shahrukh tried that in Zero, by the way. Zero and Fan both.
Bro, Zero to chhod de yaar. Zero kuch sense hi nahi hai Zero.
By the way, Avnish Kumar, thank you so much, Avnish. He's given us a super chat.
Wow.
Thank you so much. And he's also asked us, why should anyone not watch Jawan? I think if you don't like over the top silly action movies, you shouldn't watch Jawan.
And if you don't like Shah Rukh Khan, I don't think you'll enjoy the film.
If you don't like him, then you will not like this at all.
Koi fayda nahi hai fir.
Yeah, it's mostly a star vehicle, na? Completely a star vehicle.
Completely भाई. और शाहरुख, I am guessing हर सीन में कोई ऐसा सीन नहीं है जिसमें शाहरुख खान नहीं है इस फिल्म में. नहीं है वो flashback anyway.
वाह भाई भरत, कुशाग्र देशमुख. I have seen घर वापसी twice. I want Bharat to write something for SRK. दे चर्चे देख रहे हो भाई. ठीक है अभी ये. It's only a matter of time, I think, before Bharat
gets there.
Right for SRK and indie film. और भरत से मिलने के बाद फिर सबसे पहले भरत अपनी पहली मीटिंग में तुझे invite करना है to the Disscontent
हाँ
podcast.
भाई
Okay, and to come and talk to us about where we will delete all Pathan वाला episode delete कर देंगे सब कुछ. We will suck up so hard, dude. I am pretty sure. You could do a single location, single actor film with SRK. नहीं नहीं कितना single location, single actor.
कर भी सकते हैं
कर दो ना
कोर्टरूम ड्रामा में मुझे देखने का मन है लॉयर
एक्टर भाई तो लॉयर का खुद ही से दलील
खुद लॉयर खुद
लॉयर खुद ही जज भाई अब गोविंदा फिल्म नहीं बना रहे भाई मतलब ये इट इज लाइक दैट थॉमस हार्डी फिल्म वेयर इज इन अ कार यू गाइस रिमेंबर दैट फिल्म लॉक
yeah that is a nice film, dude.
That kind of a high concept basically movie.
Actually that kind of film not too bad for an actor like Shah Rukh Khan. Yeah,
Mohanlal tried it by the way last year. Mohanlal did a terrible fucking lockdown thriller where he's the only actor and it sucked ass.
I think that's the thing with these films, either they work or they work really well or they just suck ass because you cannot tolerate it then.
You'll know the first of its kind of this kind of a film in India was with Guru Dutt sorry Sanjay Dutt ka baap yaar Sunil Dutt. So Sunil Dutt did a film called I forget koi bata dega but that was the first of its kind where the whole 2.5 hours this guy is alone and in his house and that's the whole movie and it was a huge experience.
By the way Bharat tera ye people are raising the stakes. Abu they have said I showed Ghar Wapsi to my parents, they have seen it thrice already. So Abu to Kushagra said twice, Abu their parents have watched it thrice. So Aniket, Aditya's idea really fun. Tabu and SRK would make a terrific. Tabu and SRK listen, Tabu and SRK natural born killers type psychopath killer film with SRK. I would love
पागल बना रहे यार कोई टेंडर सा सिंपल सा रोमांस भी हो सकता है जैसे
वो मेरी पर्सनालिटी नहीं ना ऐसी फिर मैं क्या
they have been together in चलते चलते right
हाँ,
for a one scene
no
where
चलते चलते नहीं साथिया
साथिया में उसको ठोक देते हैं ना उसकी गाड़ी ठोक देती है वो
वहीं से शायद मेरे दिमाग में
कल होना हो में तब्बू है क्या
तब्बू है तब्बू
नहीं सोनाली बेंद्रे is a doctor. You're confusing Sonali Bendre and Tabu. How dare you, sir? But SRK and
sorry, Sathiya mein their 10-minute thing was really good by the way because if you remember spoiler alert for Sathiya but वो ठोक देती है रानी मुखर्जी को तब्बू को and Shah Rukh Khan comes and says कि I'll take the blame.
Correct.
I'll do it, don't worry.
This is also around the time of the Salman Khan case. So and Vivek Oberoi is in the movie. I'm just saying, guys. I'm just saying. So, by the way, this one, Tabu has a cameo in one frame in Main Hoon Na. Okay, but there is another random ass Shah Rukh Khan. There have been random Shah Rukh cameos over the years. There's one I remember in a movie called Bhootnath. Okay, उसका एक cameo था बहुत ही random. उसका बाप होता है ना बच्चे का बाप होता है.
एंड में आता है बट इट्स नॉट अ कंप्लीट कैमियो क्योंकि स्टार्टिंग में भी आता है थोड़ा आता रहता है वो
dude just a little unrelated but the most underwhelming cameo or one of the funniest cameo actually it's not funny in and of itself but जब मैं थिएटर में देख रहा था ना ये तो बहुत फनी लगा था जब लगे रहो मुन्ना भाई आई थी तो एंड में अभिषेक बच्चन का 1 मिनट का कैमियो था दूल्हा वो होता है वो अपना वो निकालता है और फिर वो it turns out अभिषेक बच्चन
and he has a dialogue also
भाई हाँ he has a dialogue also कि he basically says that I'm not gonna listen to all this ज्योतिष
no I'll tell you what he said
हाँ
he says तुमसे शादी नहीं करूंगा तो शायद मर जाऊंगा पर तुमसे शादी करूंगा तो शायद मर जाऊंगा पर तुमसे शादी नहीं करूंगा तो पक्का मर जाऊंगा
I love how he's keeping the option of dying still all on the table. He's not like I reject astrology.
Yeah, no.
He's like no, it's still possible I might die by marrying Dia Mirza, but most likely not. So I'll still do it. Although why I found it funny was because when the theater in which I was watching, I don't remember the joke, but through my childhood, somebody cracked a joke. Okay, the moment उसने अपना वो खोला ना, somebody in the theater cracked a joke and it just made the entire audience laugh. Wow. And everyone went, I don't remember the joke, but I just remember laughing very hard on Abhishek Bachchan and the entire theater laughed. So मेरे को वो चीज़ है.
What's even more ironic about that line and that scenario, because when Abhishek Bachchan got married in real life to Aishwarya Rai, she had to first marry a paid. So that, and the paid had to be cut off.
Was that tree called
because वो मांगलिक थी या कुछ था.
Oh shit, man.
एंड वो यही था कि अगर इसकी शादी होगी तो ये 1 साल में 2 साल में मर जाएगा, तो दे हैड टू रिचुअलिस्टिकली मैरी हर टू अ पेड़, और पेड़ को काट दो जिससे मर जाए वो।
I really want to get into what is all this, like ये मांगलिक कैसे पकड़ के, how do you calculate all this shit? It sounds absurd, like it makes.
I have a lot of this thing for a lot of other things where it's like, live and let live. Astrology में मैं अभी तक काफी
live and let live
it
चल रहा है
annoys
क्या?
me more than
हाँ, live and
religion,
let live. मतलब कि अच्छा है, चलने दो जैसे
नहीं
चल।
नहीं मतलब on a lot of things people are like, yeah, as long as it's not harm, like for example religion, people are like, okay, if it's not harming somebody, you don't actively criticize or whatever, तुम अपना मुंह मत खोलो जहाँ पर जरूरत नहीं है. But astrology just rubs me wrong, it just every time it is brought up at all.
But
Even
by
more than something like homeopathy, I feel this I find more
live and let live
weirdly
is,
enough.
homeopathy is like live and let live ना.
मुझे वो थोड़ा मतलब मेरे को नहीं पता, I am still against it only, but I'm just saying this irks me more in general.
This also irks us because it exists in very well studied and educated people.
Yeah, मेरे को वो
जो
काफी
कि-
shocking लगता है.
और जो कि कहते नहीं, we're just doing it for fun, it's fun only.
Dude, also now I hate the fact that now, especially because of Twitter, there has been this language. The language around it has become cooler, ना. तो
Yeah.
now people अभी शर्म नहीं आती लोगों को बोलने में. तो ऐसे, oh, I am a Gemini rising, or I am a something, like they've got these like cool sounding
Yeah.
terms now, so now they say it. पर वो सेम चीज तुम्हारा पंडित भी वही करते हैं, तुम्हें और उसमें कोई फर्क नहीं है, ठीक है.
बट एक बार होता है मेरे साथ ऐसा सीन हुआ था, सॉरी, आई चैलेंज्ड अ गर्ल कि भाई मतलब बेसिकली अ फ्रेंड आई मेड ऑन अ सेट, एंड शी इज लाइक फुल ये, एंड मैंने कहा अच्छा तेरे को मेरी पर्सनालिटी पता है ना पिछले 1-1.5 महीने से, तुम बता मैं कौन सा हूँ. भाई उसने बता दिया. मैं कहा फक यार, ये तो okay.
मैं हमेशा एक ट्रिक करता हूँ. मैं हमेशा, कोई भी मेरे को पूछता है कि व्हाट्स योर स्टार साइन, तो मैं पहले बोलता हूँ स्कॉर्पियो, फिर बोलता हूँ मैं कि
अच्छा तुम
फिर वो बोलते हैं ओ या यू हैव सर्टेन ट्रेट्स ऑफ, फिर बोलता हूँ नहीं मैं जेमिनी हूँ, फिर वो बोलते हैं कि अच्छा नहीं मुझे पता था तू जेमिनी, दिस बिहेवियर इज एग्जैक्टली ऑफ अ जेमिनी, फिर मैं बोलता हूँ कि नहीं मैं एक्चुअली एक्वेरियस हूँ. फिर तो मैं ये करते रहता हूँ पूरा टाइम, मैं ये करते रहता हूँ until like it just doesn't mean anything. Don't want, हाँ.
What I was about to say is that
भूल गया.
I think astrology and all na is fine as long as it's just stuck to like a guy on the road whom you can give 2 rupees to and just say कि हाँ ठीक है पढ़ लो मेरा हाथ बता दो, टाइम वेस्ट कर लो 5 मिनट के
ऐसा
लिए.
टाइम वेस्ट के लिए, हाँ.
उसके आगे ना, अगर like recently I got an Instagram ad saying Guwahati, he's here, the celebrity astrologer, so and so guy, and he's going to be here for this many days, and एक बंदा ना ऐसे एयरपोर्ट से उतर रहा है एकदम हॉट शॉट and music एकदम hero वाला. I saw that post just like today only I saw it, हाँ, and I was like ये तो मतलब अब ज्यादा हो रहा है,
ज्यादा हो गया
भाई. ये मेरे को हिमांशु ने एक इंस्टाग्राम अकाउंट भेजा था. आई एम नॉट गोना नेम द अकाउंट because I don't remember it also, but it was this woman, okay, and she is a Jyotish and she's like an astrologer and a lot of things, and she does these random, like she'll be like आपका यूएस का वीजा रिजेक्ट हो रहा है, 5 बार हाथ को ऐसे रब करो अपने सर पे, like ऐसा, like बाय द वे जैसे भरत हम लोग मीम्स भेजते हैं ना एक दूसरे को, हिमांशु मेरे को ये सब भेजता है, ऐसे सब अकाउंट भेजता है रैंडमली. तो ये which मैं उस पे that account I was looking at for at least that whole night, मेरा पेट दुख रहा था हंसते हंसते. मतलब वो भाई अजीब से बाल्टी लटका दो दरवाजे के बाहर अगर पैसे नहीं मिल रहे लाइफ, मतलब कुछ भी चल रहा है. So it's very very funny. By the way, Kushagra has said, thank you Kushagra, guys please like the stream, it's getting really good. I'm glad you're saying that now it's getting really good, but yes, please like, there are like some 20 likes and there are 40 of us, so come on, please don't be dicks.
there are 40 people watching.
भाई वाह यार,
crazy.
40 people are watching. There was like 48 at one point.
I'm not reading the comments. किसी ने बोला है क्या कि जवान अच्छी है कि बुरी है? किसी ने कुछ बोला है क्या?
लोगों ने देख भाई, डिस्कॉन्टेंट की ऑडियंस भी हमारी तरह हरामी है ना, तो डायरेक्टली किसी ने नहीं बोला है, पर इधर उधर बोला है कि करिश्मा है इसमें, या अच्छा आदमी.
I'll tell you one thing though. So the moment he started getting a little bit of traction again, SRK since Pathan basically, memers are against him, right? Some people make memes and all, like, and against him to kya hi. But there's this one particular guy I follow him. He's called, it's Liberally Fucked India, right?
हाँ,
I follow him, and then before I saw his posts, I didn't think there were people who would not like him. And after I saw his posts, multiple carousal posts about how bad he is as a person because he's silent on topics. And I don't know if I agree with him or not. Don't agree with it. I don't have a very strong opinions, but like the way to see, like, just to bring a person down, just to keep shitting on a guy. I don't know. I'm not against Liberally Fucked India. Also, I kind of see his point. I do at times, but it's just
I think that's just a symptom of the same issue. Now, what you were saying earlier, that the expectation to have from a star at this level is too. It's weird.
Is it though? His point is they have a better class thing, unity, and
I'll give you one example. There was an account recently, there's an account that we follow of Baba Jogeshwari's, who was very popular and used to share a lot of B-grade movies. He was a connoisseur of camp, and very, very interesting. He was very outspoken politically. We discussed this, and I can say this because I heard this on a much more popular podcast than us. So I guess we can also talk about it. So he got into trouble, but now he's back. I think I can see his activity on social media here and there, but he's not saying anything publicly. Now he got in trouble, and I'm sure that's why. I'm pretty sure all of us can understand why he's not being outspoken politically, right? So now imagine somebody like a Shah Rukh Khan. This is a guy who can, and I'm sure will get a call directly from the PMO. Okay. So like तुम scale भी समझो ना, तुम्हारा expectation. In fact, Shah Rukh Khan had ऐसे जो वंश में बात कर रहे थे ना, उसकी reel काट देते हैं लोग with cool music in the background. एक बहुत ही अच्छी थी, where उसको अंजना ओम कश्यप पूछ रही है कि जैसे हॉलीवुड में एक्टर्स बात करते हैं, आउटस्पोकन है पॉलिटिक्स को लेके, अबॉर्शन को लेके, इंडिया में क्यों नहीं है? तो ही सेड मुझे भी बहुत अच्छा, वेरी कूल रिप्लाई, ही सेड कि मुझे भी बड़ा अच्छा लगता है कि हॉलीवुड में लोग बात करते हैं, पॉलिटिकली आउटस्पोकन है. इंडिया में प्रॉब्लम ये है कि जब मैं ये चाहूंगा कि अगर हम बात करें तो इंडिया के जो न्यूज चैनल्स है वो पीछे बाजीगर का म्यूजिक नहीं चला है, which is true, like which is literally what they do, right? So I think that's also the other aspect, to have the expectation for him to talk about serious issues all the time is very
also, do you think his Muslim identity also puts him in some sort of a larger...
Yeah, bro. You remember in 2015 when this government was about 1 year old, he had said something, if you remember, about intolerance.
Rising intolerance and all of that, he said.
Yeah, and
Amir Khan had also said.
उससे पहले आमिर खान ने खाली इतना बोला था कि my wife, who was, by the way, his ex-wife now, she was a Hindu, firstly. And he was saying that she feels a little scared and should we leave?
Yeah.
To which in the same interview, he's saying that I was telling her कि नहीं ऐसा नहीं होता.
नहीं हाँ,
तो like उसके ऊपर बवाल हो गया भाई. तो तुम समझ रहे हो कि तुम मतलब अगर तुम्हारा कोई भी ओपिनियन हो सकता है, पर अगर तुम्हारे घर के बाहर 50 लोग तलवार लेके आ जाए तो भाई मैं तुम्हारे कोई भी ओपिनियन के साथ अग्री कर लूंगा. मैं तो कर लूंगा. मेरे 50 छोड़ भाई, एक इंसान आके अगर मेरे घर के बाहर खड़े हो जाए, पागलों जैसे कुत्ते ऐसे खड़ा हो जाए चाकू लेके, भाई मैं तो बोलूंगा सॉरी सर, हाँ मैं हमेशा आपकी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से अग्री करूंगा भाई. मतलब इट्स एक्चुअली ऑल्सो दीस पीपल आर like very at risk, right? I'm sure. अगर भाई आजकल हर इक्के दुक्के इंसान को एंजाइटी हो जाती है, इन लोगों का सोचो भाई, जो 50,000 लोग हैं जिनमें से कम तुम लोग 100% श्योर हो एटलीस्ट 20 of them hate you like with a passion. So like that is really scary. Oh, I have to address a couple of Rahul 360 degrees, and I think there was the same Rahul as Rahul Chaudhary from the group, from the WhatsApp group. He said, what about tarot card reader? It's the same as all of these things, astrology and all that. And he said, to be honest, Jawan is mid. Okay. So
मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि हम अभी देखे हैं ना, 2 दिन बाद हम भी यही बोल देंगे. पठान को मैंने डिलीट कर दिया.
100% mid. It is not great cinema by any stretch of the imagination. It's just a fun, but it is a well done, fun, technically sound action film.
मैं तो उतने में इम्प्रेस हो जाता हूँ जब 2 लोग ना, जैसे एक शॉट फिर एक रिएक्शन शॉट दे देते हैं ना, मैं उधर इम्प्रेस हो जाता हूँ
करेक्ट
कि चलो किसी ने कुछ बोला तो किसी ने कुछ देखा तो कुछ
करेक्ट
इतना दिखा दिया तुमने मेरे को तो ठीक है.
ऑल्सो तुम्हारा कैरेक्टर कंसिस्टेंट है जैसे उसमें उसका जो फादर का जो स्पॉइलर अलर्ट उसके जो द फादर एसआर के जो है वो लाइक आई लाइक द फैक्ट दैट ही इज दिस सिगार स्मोकिंग वेरी वेरी एनिमे लाइक कैरेक्टर
हाँ यार उसको इमोशनल नहीं बनाना था मेरे साथ. आई वुड हैव लव्ड इट हैड ही नेवर रिमेम्बर्ड.
अगर वो हमेशा वैसे ही
तो वैसे ही
दैट
रहे.
वुड हैव बीन प्रीटी कूल
That would have been so much fun कि हाँ कर रहे हैं कुछ इनका चल रहा है ठीक है.
Do you guys know this story is very similar to Samshera? You remember that movie?
नहीं नहीं
Father and son played by the same
वो
actor.
हिसाब से सेम है हाँ.
Plus Samshera is also about like rise up and revolt.
पर उसमें फादर मर ही जाता है ना या वापस आता है फादर.
नहीं उसका
I
फादर
think
मर जाता है
but
उसका घोस्ट टोस्ट आता होगा. नहीं
वो एक चिड़िया बन गया था.
चिड़िया बन के आता है. नहीं चिड़िया बन के आता है. चिड़िया अलग ही रहती है बस.
कौवा बन के आता है. कौवा काले कौवे.
भाई बहुत ही खराब थी यार वो फिल्म. Also एक दो लोग he look like SCJ Media Works has said, by the way SCJ Media Works sounds like an organization, but he said he looked like old man Logan. That's true. He did look like Logan. The dude has said Anurag taking in every interview about Made in Heaven credit situation, talking I guess he means. What's your thoughts? Oh yeah, are you guys familiar with the Made in Heaven season 2 controversy?
I know the controversy, but I have not watched it, so I can comment on the controversy.
I've watched the show also. I watched season 2. I haven't watched fully season 1, but I watched some of it and I watched the ending. But I watched season 2.
I've not seen.
It's just season 2 is it's just like it's like a checklist of all the issues from social media. It's very aware. It says all the right things. It says all the correct, it has all the correct opinions on everything. It seems almost lifted from every episode is lifted from like one thread on Twitter. One thread on one issue. अगर ये domestic violence पे ये thread है ये भाई उसमें एक character दिखाया by the way. तुमने दोनों ने नहीं देखा है ना?
नहीं
भाई उन्होंने एक literally, and because this is a very social media savvy show, okay, so because very clear when you watch it, dude, they've literally shown this guy to be bare biceps, okay, and he's a domestic abuser.
Oh damn.
Like the character in the show is like this influencer who's like a motivational this thing, and uska attitude be full वैसे almost looks like him, and he's shown to be like this really violent, controlling guy. So very, very this thing. But the controversy pe, which is those of you who don't know, Yashika Dutt is a writer. She's a Dalit writer. She wrote a book called Coming Out as Dalit, where she speaks about where her family had adopted an upper caste name, which a lot of people do. But she chose to come out as Dalit, and the book is about that. The character in the show is played by Radhika Apte, where it's the character's name is Pallavi Menke, and basically her book in the show is coming out, I think. ऐसा ही कुछ है. I don't remember exactly. So basically the controversy was that Yashika Dutt claims that these guys should have given her credit because the character was very similar. It was almost identical in the journey in a sense, that you eventually own your identity. And in fact, when I watched the show and I was familiar with Yashika Dutt's work, so when I was watching the show, I literally felt, oh, this is like based on her. So,
but there's one more nuance to that.
इतना apparent था ना?
इतना apparent मुझे था at least. Maybe.
Yeah. Plus, this was a response to Neeraj Ghewan, the director of that episode, posting like his influences while making the show, and one of them was her, and he named her, and she'd said that I'm happy that he told me, but I also would, because lower castes and the DBA community has been actively, credit has been taken away from them. So I would like for the producers to give me a proper formal credit rather than just an Insta story, which to me sounded fair. कि अगर आपने as a creator बोला है कि हाँ यार this is a direct inspiration for me, या तो एक reasonable doubt वाला space ये होता कि कुछ नहीं बोला होता creators ने, then at least politically correct आप हो सकते हो ये बोल के कि हाँ ठीक है भाई, okay, inspired है, but we don't owe you anything. But if you actively said it, then I think you should have the decency to be like, ठीक है, we'll of course give you.
One thing I found very bizarre about this whole controversy is that the fact that they let it become so. You know what Zoya Akhtar and all these people responded to after? They basically said that this phrase coming out is obviously from the gay community. It is from the LGBT community. It's popular from that. But there is a Dalit man, Sumit Bodh. He is an academic, and he had written a paper some 15 years ago where he was the first one to use this term as for in the Dalit context.
Episode का नाम है ना ये?
क्या?
Coming Out is the name of the episode.
हाँ,
Right?
ऐसे I think so. ऐसे ही कुछ पता नहीं. I don't know the name of the episode, but anyway, जो character है उसमें राधिका आप्टे का, she is an author. She is like a PhD and she's a professor and an author. उसकी book is very similar to Coming Out as Dalit from. So anyway, they responded with that कि हमने उधर से लिया है, which dude no, तुमने उधर, और मैंने किसी और का भी ओपिनियन पढ़ा ट्विटर पर कि भाई ये एकेडमिक पेपर तुमने तो पक्का नहीं पढ़ा था, जब आधे अम्बेडकर से नहीं पढ़ा है, तुम कैसे बात कर रहे हो, तुमने ये पढ़ा हुआ है, तुमने ऑब्वियसली यशिका दत्त से ही इंस्पायर हुए हो ये कैरेक्टर. आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड फ्रॉम द क्रिएटर्स पर्सपेक्टिव टू सम एक्सटेंट कि you know you are not necessarily, because for example when you're taking a character from real life, you are making it fictitious, you are giving it certain shades, so it's not fully like the real person. But when you are when it's about this topic and you are standing up for these issues, right, so why is your first priority to save your own ass on this, which is not even that big a deal? I think the appropriate response should have been ki,
Sorry.
okay, are bad, we're sorry, we'll give a credit, we'll give a special thanks.
और भाई क्रेडिट देने में genuinely कुछ जाता नहीं है.
कुछ नहीं जाता है भाई. क्या
यार मेरे को क्या लग रहा है, लीगैलिटी इश्यूज होगा ऐसा, मतलब कुछ कि क्रेडिट देने के बाद they can say,
oh maybe yeah, what he's saying is कि maybe they can claim
ownership,
that
copyright, property, I don't know,
copyright of the book na, that if you are using, but
अगर वैसा इशू नहीं है,
but I don't think, but that's also a bit of a this thing यार, मतलब तो और अगर देना ही पड़े भाई, मैंने देखा है भरत स्टूडियोज कितने पैसे देते हैं लोगों को, देखे हैं हमने, कुछ अगर वो देना भी होता कुछ अमाउंट नहीं देते ये लोग. और like I just think it was a little bit weird, especially because you know that just tells me that तुम्हारा जो character है तुमको उसका, you don't really stand for any of that, you are filling a checklist, you know, when this is happening very.
People were especially disappointed with Neeraj Ghewan because he is from the community and he's always kind of stood up for them in his work and his professional life. So I think that was a major disappointment for a lot of people. But again, I think ये पूरी controversy एक बहुत ही छोटे niche में रही है.
Yeah.
I don't think this has become mainstream in any way. It's just part of that subculture का subculture में.
In fact, I feel like the mature thing would have been that if Zoya Akhtar and all these people could have then shared, not only added special thanks, could have shared her book, maybe sat down with her, you know, been like, yeah, you're right, and pushed her book. In fact, I thought that would have been a good way to push her book.
Yeah.
And now she's being attacked. People are pulling her tweets where she has made some tweet against Mayawati in 2011, you know, which is very, very, you know, like, again, just to target a person unfairly for what they said 15 years ago. So I think a lot of that stuff is happening now. So I just feel like it's a little much.
Oh, I don't know the new controversy.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's going on now, but it's not even related to these guys now.
Okay.
Ab kya ho raha hai now within the Ambedkarite community? At least I was just looking at Twitter for 5 minutes yesterday. Jahan par basically somebody had tweeted, I think Sumit Bodh only had sly tweeted her, and then there was some back and forth on that, and it was just very nasty. So I just feel like all of this could have been avoided very easily, and shouldn't have been. Actually, before we end, a couple of things I wanted to talk about. One thing, somebody brought up Guns and Gulabs. Anyone here watch Guns and Gulabs?
One episode.
Do you like it?
I really like it.
I watched the full show.
Yeah.
And I thought it was funny as fuck.
Yeah.
I think Raj and DK have cracked something that I think a lot of people have struggled to crack, which is that, you know, an ability to tell stories that are in the OTT space, long form stories with a very stylistic, very unique voice of their own, which is, you know, they like these wacky sort of plots with exaggerated characters, or very, very characters who are always in a dilemma, all of those things. I thought it was a very funny show. 90s, it's based in the 90s. It's around drug dealing. It is very, it'll be very nostalgic for a lot of people.
Whom did you
Uh,
like in it? Which actor did you like?
I loved Rajkumar Rao in it. I thought he was
Yeah.
very funny. Yeah. I'll tell you, usme matlab, there are a lot of memorable jokes for me, which is like, for example, I think Himanshu, I think specifically you will love it. Okay. Because उसमें एक चीज है which is, मेरे को याद है कॉलेज में तूने मुझे बोला था एक बार, हम लोग सुट्टा पी रहे थे और तूने मेरे को बोला था कि तुझे एक शॉर्ट फिल्म आई थी about a teacher and like a student and all of that. तो
याद नहीं आ रही, but ठीक है.
Anyway, but उसके around plot था basically, and it was very cool. It was उसके around इस show में एक plot है, and it's handled very maturely, you know. It's actually done very well. And उसमें what I was saying on memorable jokes, there was one which was कि this, you know, like in films and shows, people like shoot, like there are like gun battles or whatever, but not everyone is experienced with a gun, right? So it's very funny when like there's these two, Rajkumar Rao and his friend are like shooting at, they're like hiding behind a pillar and they're fighting against these gangsters. They're shooting at these gangsters, and one of the gangsters falls. इनकी सारी bullets miss होती है, and then both of them insist कि नहीं मैंने मारा. It's just jokes, like silly jokes like that throughout.
It
But
is
just something that is very funny. Gulshan Devaya is very good in it. Okay. Rest in peace, this one man who died recently, Satish Kaushik. I think this would be his last role. He was amazing in it. Even Adarsh Gaurav is damn good. Everyone in general, I think was.
देखते हैं ना भरत, देखते हैं.
And
it is generally, this is a very acting driven show. Actor driven show. It's very much hinged on performances. Simple story, very very cliched simple story of a drug deal, of every plot that you see in it is all predictable.
कितने episode है?
Guns and Gulabs bhi dialogues are by Sumit. The same.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's really
Nice.
doing well.
Bharat तो I think बात छेड़ दे, कल ही text कर दे एक बार, and we can get him on, because clearly we've enjoyed, at least I have enjoyed everything.
Yeah, we all have.
in the
We all
recent
enjoyed his work.
So-
What were you saying, Himanshu? 6-7 episode है, कितने episode है?
उसके 8 episode है, and but the 7th and 8th episodes are very, like, they're longer episodes. So also, you know, another thing this begs the discussion on this thing that I was reading a piece recently, I forget by whom, about how a lot of filmmakers these days want to make movies that are pre-2000s, or want to make content which is pre-2000s, because they don't want to show phones. Because the moment a character has a mobile phone, a lot of plot things become fuck all. And people can just instantly talk to each other, you know, or you're stuck in some place. How do you get stuck in some place if you ever? फिर तुमको एक अच्छा उसकी बैटरी लो थी, वो भी सेटअप करना पड़ेगा. So in that sense, this is also fun because it's based in a world that is pre this era, right?
Mehraiya would have been a great film if it was not set on a WhatsApp era, basically.
Which is match point. So yeah. So yeah. So I too found it very fun. I think it's a fun show. Check it out. Another thing before we end, sorry, One Piece, any manga anime fans in the house, One Piece adaptation on Netflix has released recently. Have either of y'all watched or read One Piece?
I follow the subreddit and I watch. My brother watches it, cousin. So he keeps telling me about like every episode that has come out. But you guys know, na, it's like very long. It's like
no live action adaptation.
Netflix. I know. But like, if you have to watch the live action, you would want to actually watch the manga.
No. Yes. So, okay, context. I finished watching the season today, and it's actually damn nice. It's for the first time I feel Netflix has got a live action anime adaptation right, you know. So, which is I thought it was very well done. I've read about 100 chapters of One Piece, which is about 11 or so volumes. It's damn good. But the way they've shot it in this, you don't need to read anything. If you watch this show, it is very well self-contained. It has enough lore from the
But I'd like to actually watch the original or read.
Bro,
I would
Bharat,
like to.
Bharat, do you know the whole idea, right? Like,
I
you know
know
how
it's-
long it is, right?
अभी भी चल रही है ना basically.
हाँ, कुछ
It's
1500 chapters है.
Is the longest running
But
show,
I'll tell you what,
like manga.
हाँ,
And it's gonna, and apparently we are not even at the midpoint of the story.
भाई
The
Yeah.
midpoint will come a couple of maybe a decade later, and then the second half of all the
भाई.
stories, which
Dude,
are like
but-
the enders, will start,
Okay.
and it's supposed to go until 2060 or something.
Fuck.
yeah, but can I just add a caveat to that?
Huh.
This is a bit of a misnomer because when I started reading, मेरे को पढ़ना था बहुत time से, but I wasn't because of this. But when I started reading the manga, right, dude, तुम एक जो volume होता है ना उसका, तुम मतलब आधे घंटे में या 1 घंटे में खत्म कर लोगे.
अच्छा ऐसा है?
भाई बहुत ही फटाफट, मतलब it's just like फटाफट करके you can read it very quickly. It's not like a Junji Ito manga or like something which is very intense or it's very normal. और मैंने तो बहुत जल्दी, मतलब मैंने एक दिन में I think कुछ 40 चैप्टर पढ़ लिए थे, ठीक है, which are they're all like 20 pages, 25 pages each. तो अगर वो 1000 है तो actually it comes on to maybe like a Lord of the Rings type. अगर तुमको Lord like that equivalent, तो उतना ही है. वो थोड़ा सुनने में वैसा लगता है, but otherwise it's I think still fun. And yeah, so I thought that was good, so I will recommend that today. Guns and Gulabs and One Piece का live action. If you guys don't want to read the manga, ideally read the manga, but if तुमको वो नहीं पढ़ना तो ये देख लो.
हिमांशु.
I have no recommendation. So Bharat, you go for it, please.
यार मैं ना I have been watching The Bear for a long time because every episode is like a film only, and I know I am terrible at this क्योंकि लोग तो भाई मतलब ऐसे देखते हैं shows की मतलब literally एक दिन में खत्म कर देते हैं. मुझे तो नहीं समझ आता कैसे कर पाते लोग, but I would really recommend it to you guys by the way. कि भाई The Bear देखो, and Bear season 1 तो बस देख लो फटाफट, and season 2 because you want to get to the good part basically. It's like Breaking Bad. You want to what happened? Why are you making that?
भाई मैंने season 1 देखा,
नहीं अच्छा
पूरा नहीं
लगा.
देखा, मैंने 3-4 एपिसोड देखे.
You didn't like it.
Just not able to sink my teeth into it the way everyone. I think maybe it's been hyped so much, but I found it okay, but I just couldn't get into it so much. But yeah.
हाँ तो fair, but I feel that like season 2 really ups the game. मतलब ऐसा मैंने बहुत कम shows देखता हूँ. I'm not a show guy, but ऐसा मैंने पहली बार देखा है कि after Breaking Bad and also The Wire, I'm assuming क्योंकि मैंने season 2 खत्म नहीं किया अभी तक. But
Bharat, please, let's finish The Wire and let's have a discussion. Actually, I want to call Abhinandan Sridhar. He's a big fan of The Wire and The Sopranos. मेरे को एक mega Sopranos और Wire पर करना था. I was thinking of calling Dhruv Sehgal also and
करेंगे भाई.
Abhinandan Sridhar also. तो please देख लो.
मैं देखूंगा.
Have that.
लेकिन The Bear भी please bear with it and watch season 2 episode 5, 6, 7. Basically भाई master class type की लगती है मुझे in writing. Really on the level of Succession and all of that. Just the writing, the direction and all is good, but the writing really ups it. और उसमें सब कुछ है भाई, सब लोग हैं. तो मालूम है बॉब ओडेनकर्क है. There is वो अभी ऑस्कर कौन जीती है सपोर्टिंग एक्टर के लिए एवरीथिंग एवरीवेयर में?
मिशेल लियो.
वो तो सपोर्टिंग नहीं है ना, वो
सपोर्टिंग उसके ऑपोजिट जो टैक्स वाली जेमी ली कर्टिस है भाई. उसने किल किया है, ठीक है, बहुत से. और ब्रिटा फ्रॉम कम्युनिटी है.
इवॉन क्या नाम है उसका? इवॉन
आई फॉरगेट द नेम.
अजीब सा नाम है बट
मुझे ब्रिटा याद है, बट शी इज फकिंग गुड. वो ये सब लोग एक एपिसोड में आए. देयर इज अ होल फैमिली reunion that's happening and all of them come together and it's fucking crazy, dude. I'm still not over it and I saw it like last week and मेरा और ऐश्वर्या का ये रहता है कि हम लोग साथ में वही एक चीज देख पाते हैं. उसकी वर्ल्ड यहाँ है, मेरी वर्ल्ड यहाँ है, of watching things. This is where we come together. So that I would really recommend, The Bear. And what else did I dude fuck Kaurismäki please देखो. Aki Kaurismäki. तू तो देख सकता है आदित्य, बिकॉज यू हैव द क्राइटेरियन.
यूज कर रहा है क्राइटेरियन चैनल.
हाँ भाई, उसी में तो देखा है सब मैंने.
ओके
So please watch.
क्या नाम है? That is the name of the director.
बाय द वे हिमांशु तू भी
Yeah.
हमारे साथ स्प्लिट कर सकता है क्राइटेरियन चैनल।
हाँ आ जा।
मैं तेरे को आईडी
इनको-
पास
मैं movie is a good idea or criterion?
Criterion.
क्राइटेरियन या
ठीक है,
Criterion.
tell me.
Movie is for first year students and third year
हाँ.
students के लिए
हाँ
बेसिकली। बट
ठीक
ठीक
है,
बट आकी काउरस्माकी देखो ऑन क्राइटेरियन, भाई तुम्हारा दिमाग खुल जाएगा, तुम्हारा दिमाग फट जाएगा, तुम लोग को एक नया सेंसेशन आ जाएगा लाइफ का। तो please.
Ari, 1 second before we end, we have to. I can't believe we will be remiss if we do not talk about the spoiler alert for Jawan, the cameo of Sanjay Dutt at the end.
अरे भाई
That fucking randomness, na.
क्या
The
रैंडम।
randomness of getting Sanjay Dutt in the most Sanjay Dutt role was just so. और भाई आज सुबह मैंने देखा उसका. I have a friend. She is like an event person in Pune. So she does like events for a lot of bars. Dude, so she had put up a story. जो एक तो कोई तो बार का लॉन्च हुआ था, उसमें संजय दत्त was on the stage. Okay, for some reason he showed up to this very cool Pune elite crowd में. वो आ गया और वो पता है क्या बोल रहा है स्टेज पे, मजा आ रहा है बापू, ऐसा सब बोल रहा है। और ऑडियंस ठंडी, ठीक है, थोड़ी बहुत ऑडियंस रिएक्ट कर रही है और बाकी सब ठंडी। तो इज लाइक और भी मजा आएगा, लाइक इट्स जस्ट सो क्रिंज। और अभी भी आई डोंट नो हु टेल्स हिम कि आप बहुत कूल लग रहे हो सर, आप बहुत कूल लग रहे हो, आपको पता नहीं है। पता नहीं भाई, वो बहुत ही बूढ़ा, बहुत ही I don't know, every time I look at him I just feel like कि मेरे को थोड़ी हंसी आ जाती है।
Left to give kind of a guy है वो। अब हो गया भाई। मैं तो बस
करेक्ट।
जो उसको कैंसर हो गया था, आई थिंक ही सर्वाइव्ड। जो इंसान इतने सारे ड्रग्स सर्वाइव कर सकता है वो आई थिंक ये भी सर्वाइव कर ही लेगा। बट yeah, before we leave, please fucking like the stream. Do like the stream, come on. Another thing I've been noticing, there have been a lot of people like unsubscribing from the channel immediately after we have a stream. So I guess they want to chat. So it's one of these guys who's talking to us, and they subscribe and then they unsubscribe because I see this, it goes down. So please don't do that. We are a very, I मेरे को ये दिल वाली अपील नहीं करनी, but we're a very fucking tiny channel. If you're liking, clearly you're liking, you're watching this on a Sunday night at 11 o'clock. Please like just support us. If you really like us, you can subscribe to the channel and you can press the join button, become a member, join our Disscontent WhatsApp group where there is a film discussion or some kind of discussion happening all the time, and we'll add you to that. Please like the stream irrespective of that and subscribe, and just generally watch our stuff. Thank you. And anything else anyone wants to say before we leave? Thank you guys.
All right. Good night.
Bye. Good night.
And best of luck to Team Bharat for tomorrow against
Oh,
match
right.
with Pakistan. Yeah.
मुझे बताना क्या हुआ, ठीक है?
हाँ, तेरे को मैं मैसेज करता हूँ। चलो।